guess what? This time I decided to go retro, and we went and saw the 25th anniversary of They Live. Let's talk about it. When I was growing up, I saw a lot of B movies, and it was mainly because, that's what came on USA Up all night, and where I didn't do it right, the way that Rhonda, whatever her name was, did. She would go, it's USA Up all night, and with a much more higher pitched voice.
But this next on USA Up all night.
But this movie I saw multiple times growing up, They Live, with Rowdy Roddy Piper. It's a John Carpenter movie, and it's just one of the most well-known John Carpenter movies besides Halloween. Now we saw it in the theater. It was the 35th anniversary, and you can also get it online right now for watching on iTunes, Amazon, or I believe it was even Tubi. Anyway, so They Live, great movie. I loved it, and the reason I wanted to go watch it again was because I loved it as a kid. When you're a kid, you don't realize a lot of the things that you're watching, and you don't realize a lot of the meanings that's coming across. Now, when I was a kid, the parts that I loved was the two parts that everybody else loved. Roddy Piper comes into a bank. He's like, I didn't even mean to come into the bank. He goes, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum. It's a great line. I don't care what you say. It's a great line. And then also, the other part of the movie that was so memorable was the fight. It was one of the best cinematic fights ever, I believe, just because it was more real. It wasn't like karate kicks or, jujitsu. It was a rough, down and out 6-minute fight. And it was more real because there was even a part where Rowdy Roddy Piper swings a 2x4 and breaks some glass in a car, and he's like, oh man, I wasn't trying to actually but it was because they were friends. He wasn't really trying to hurt him, but he was trying to make sure that he saw what he was seeing in these sunglasses, because this movie is a well-hidden gem, because it's not so much about aliens as much as it is about the 80s and pretty much now consumerism back then, because what was the 80s known for? Michael Douglas says it best. He goes, greed is good. And that's what the 80s was. The 80s was about greed, and basically now it's the same thing. Everybody now wants more money because, inflation sucks, but everyone wants more money. They're spending more than they have. They're putting more of themselves out there. They're going to lose more than they can. One of the things that you see in this movie, it says consume. It says reproduce, marry. And you'll see that because once they take off those glasses, it looks normal. You put your glasses on, and you see everything. It says that we're asleep. They're just trying to keep us down. And we're not. If you take off those sunglasses, you're asleep. No one cares about anybody else, except for the Karens who care way too much about their own personal agendas. But this movie wants to show you that there's another side to everything. Just consume, appropriate, reproduce. It's all out there, and it tries to make you really think. And when you're a kid, you're like, I don't get it. And then as you get older, oh, okay. Well, let me just say, this was one of the most fun retro movies I got to go see in the theater. When I say retro, it's just because it's much older, and I never saw it in the theater. And I think I would love to see more like this in the theater, or just talk about another retro movie. Okay? So, if you liked it, which, if you're as old as I am and you like horror movies or sci-fi movies, I'm sure you've seen this movie. In fact, you probably said that line, I'm here to chew bubblegum, or I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, just because it's a fun line to say, like I said before. But I want you to tell me, did you like it? What did you think of the movie? Did you see it when you were little? Can you think of the differences now that you're older? Tell me if you like this. Tell me if you like me doing older movies. And I'll be looking forward to hearing from your responses. And subscribe, of course. And we will see you next time.